Hey, YouTube family and GN subs. How are you? It's Humberto from GrayLaw TV, and we got some good stuff for you today. Most of you think if you are illegal in the U.S., either you entered the country illegally or you fell out of status, that there's no way that you could pick up the green card here in the U.S. Not true, folks. I got some tricks for you. How do you get your green card in the U.S. if you are illegal? All right, we're going to go through that today. Those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Humberto Gray, attorney at law. I'm here in Los Angeles, California. You can contact me at graylaw.com, and always good to consult with you and try to give you good information. So we got a lot to unpack today, so let's get at it. Like I said, generally, there are only three ways to adjust from a legal status to get the green card in the U.S. Very limited. So most people fall out of status and become illegal. And, you think that's it. There's nothing I can do. Well, let me give you about 4 or 5 different ways that you can still adjust in the United States. All right. Number one, the first one is U visa. For those of you who have, been involved in a crime in the U.S. and the police looks to you for the investigation, they can provide you with what's called a supplemental B form. And with that form, you can file a U visa. For example, let's say, I've had several clients who have been robbed, on the street. They had their car taken, etc. They can file for this U visa, right? So you file for the U visa. It's approved. Even if you were illegal in the U.S., you can adjust. You can adjust here in the U.S. Fantastic. That visa I have used over and over again. It's a good way if you're out of status to adjust in the U.S. Another way to adjust in the U.S. now, and this is very recent, is TPS, Temporary Protected Status. The list of countries for TPS has been growing. So those of you who are on TPS, you can get what's called an advance parole. The advance parole will allow you to depart the U.S. and come back in legally. Now you have legal status. You can adjust in the U.S. Even if you were out of status, even if your initial entry was illegal, you're able to now adjust in the U.S. This is recent, folks, and I am doing a lot of adjustment of status on this TPS now. We've gotten the advance parole. They've departed the U.S. and they come back, all right? Next is through what's called VAWA, the Violence Against Women Act, all right? You can file what's called an I-360 here in the U.S., even if you're out of status, even if you've worked illegally, etc. You can file the adjustment after you get the I-360 approved. That is such a good option for so many people. To qualify for the VAWA, as you know, you have to be abused. You have to have some domestic violence that has occurred. Either you were abused, you have hospital records to show that you were abused, or there's a police report to show the abuse. File the petition, get it approved, and then you can adjust in the U.S. even if you're illegal. Next, let's talk about 245I. Okay, this is a provision of the law where you can pay $1,000 penalty even if you're illegal in the U.S., still adjust and get the green card. How do you qualify for that? Basically, you have to have an application that was filed on your behalf before April of 2001. If you have an application that was filed, even if it was denied, if it was bona fide and it was approvable when filed, you can use that receipt. And if you have a way to adjust, let's say you marry now to a U.S. citizen and otherwise you couldn't adjust because you have an illegal entry, now you can pay the $1,000 penalty and still get the green card here in the U.S. We've done that for thousands and thousands of immigrants. You'd be surprised how many of those old family petitions were filed prior to 2001. Another way you can adjust in the United States if you're out of status or otherwise you made an illegal entry is called Kilantan Entry. That's a legal case, QUILANTAN. All right, Kilantan. I'll put the name of the case in the description box below so you can have the spelling and you can look it up. So this case is a really good case. Now, what it said was an individual that was driving through the border with a friend who was a U.S. citizen, doesn't necessarily have to be a U.S. citizen, but the person was in the back seat and the immigration officer didn't ask any questions at all, waved them through the border. That is considered a legal entry. Again, so some people, they think they have valid authorization to enter the U.S., but turns out that they didn't have valid authorization, and otherwise that entry would have been deemed illegal by immigration and you couldn't adjust in the U.S. Well, with this case, again, you're waved through. Basically, you can file an adjustment of status through Kilantan and get the green card here in the U.S. All right, another old one. A lot of people don't know about this one. It's called Registry. Okay, under the Registry Provisions, you can adjust in the United States if you've been here out of status. Now, I know the date seems a long, long time ago. So if you entered before January of 1972, I know most of you weren't even born, right? January of 1972, you can file, show that you've been in the U.S. continuously, even if it was out of status, even if you've worked out of status, still get the green card in the U.S. Now, the reason I mention this is because there is talk about Congress extending that date. All right, it's been way too many years, 50 years now, right? They need to extend the date if you've been here. I mean, let's make the date, I'd say January, 1992 or January 2002 would be nice too, right? That's almost 20 years ago now. So look for that date to be extended. It's part of the law, under 8 CFR 249 et sec. And you can read the provisions. I'll put that section of law in the description box below so you can check that out. All right, YouTube family and GN subs, thanks so much. Give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe. Go to the playlist. You can learn how to get your green card for free with this playlist. It's awesome stuff in there, all right? So, hey, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.